This is a true story. If you want to believe it or not, that's your call. I've told this story before to several other people, and I've been called a kook or what have you been smoking or what did you smoke that night. But I can assure you, we had no mind altering drugs or alcohol. But in October of about 1976, 77, my brother in law at the time, we decided to go to the woods behind my folks' house in Monroe Center, Illinois, to do a little raccoon hunting. We walked about half a mile or so back behind the house into the woods. Decided to take a break, so there was a picnic table in the woods at that time. So we sat down to take us a little break, smoke a cigarette, and I noticed a light shining through the trees. I didn't think anything of it. I thought maybe it was just the moon shining through the tree branches there. So we sat there for a few minutes, got a little chilly, so we decided to head back to the house. So as we were walking back, I had this strange feeling something was watching us or looking at us or something. So at that point, I turned around and looked, and I saw this huge light shining at us, just hovering there, about the height of a cornfield. And I wanted to make sure I saw what I was seeing, because I know no one would believe me. I had a hard time believing it myself. Uh, I was close enough I could have reached up and touched it, but I didn't do that. I looked around to the back of it to see if I saw a tail of a plane, like, you know, which I thought might have been, but didn't see anything. It just hovered there for a few minutes. Uh, One of the strange things that happened at that point, my brother in law and I decided to sit down with our backs against the barn wall. And we looked up, and it was like we were just seeing this object for the very first time. Pretty weird. Anyway, my brother in law at the time, I had a shotgun in my hand. He suggested that I could shoot at it, but I didn't think that was a good idea. So after a few minutes, the thing just drifted slowly back into the woods. Where it come from, I guess what I thought was the moon was this object. I don't know. Well, we ran to the house, all breaking out in a cold sweat, nervous, shaking, and everything else. My mom and my brother-in-law and myself, we decided to go out to the back by the fence to look at and look back towards the woods. About 20 minutes later, a bright light shot up out of those woods, straight up into the sky. My mom called the neighbors down the street, which they lived about a quarter of a mile away, and the woman of the house answered quite hysterically and said that they didn't see anything and that her husband had gone blind 20 minutes ago. Since then, fortunately, he did get his eyesight back. So I called the airport, told them about it, but they said anything flying that low wouldn't have been able to pick up on radar. So we didn't think much about it after that. We just kind of talked about it amongst ourselves for a while. The thing about it, though, I don't know if this thing did anything to us or not. Like I said, we sat down and it looked up and like we were seeing it for the very first time. Every time I would mention this or bring the subject up with my brother-in-law, he would never want to talk about it. He always closed up, clammed up, got nervous and scared, and just refused to talk about it. Of course, unfortunately, since then he has taken his life. Uh, Back in about 1992, I think, somewhere around there. I don't know if it had anything to do with this incident or not. He did leave a note, but he didn't mention anything in the note about this that I am aware of, anyway. I never actually saw the note. Uh, but anyways, this story does get a little weirder. About 1986, I was reading a local newspaper here, and there was an ad in the paper from a Reverend Weber. Was asking if anybody had any UFO experiences or sightings, please contact him. So I sat down and wrote a letter telling him the same exact thing that you're listening to right now. And so I waited for a response. About 2 weeks later, I got a letter back from a lady. I don't know who she was. But she said since the Reverend Weber had received my letter, he had become very ill, and that there was a dark cloud over my head. I have no idea what that was all about. I just responded to the letter, so I don't know what that was, what that was all about, and so forth. So I got the letter somewhere around here. I don't know if I lost it or during moving or if I still have it. I have no idea. But anyways, that happened. Um, and as I said, this is a true story. There are probably a few details I'm leaving out, but the main important ones I've told in this story here. Um, it was just a strange experience, and it's a true story. If you'd like to email me on this subject, my name is Dave. My email address is ogre, OGERR 51 at yahoo.com. If you'd like to email me, do so. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have or verify that. And if anybody out there is willing to or wanting to give me a lie detector test or put me under hypnosis, I'm open to all those options because I know exactly what I saw. We don't know what's out there. I mean, our planet, and we're just a human race on a scale of about a grain of sand in this great big universe. We don't know the answers to all those things that are going on out there, but I do believe in God, and I believe Jesus Christ is my Savior. Someday we may know all the answers to these weird things that we see and experience every day. I don't know, but I can't explain it other than what I've just told you here. So if you're interested in this, fine. If not, I can understand. That's fine too. If you think I'm a nut, that's okay too. I don't care. I just know what I had seen and telling you my experience here. Thank you for taking the time to watching this video and listening to me. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it interesting. And I want to thank you again and have a good night.